dialed in
to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use,
smarts of these studs.
because they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks. And they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. Nick, we're getting a little better at being weekly again. Let's say. And 2 weeks in a row, we're going to TikTok for our content.
We are. I say TikTok's you and I just spend way too much time on it, but
We do.
we get guests and we love that.
And we love watching stupid people and cats. So,
right.
you know.
Right. Guys, again, thank you so much for joining us. As always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. David and I happen to be drinking the same thing, so I'm going to let David introduce what we're drinking.
I sponsored us tonight.
So
after our tournament on Saturday, which we took second place, which I was a little salty about.
Yeah.
Mike
In the snow and sleet.
Oh my God, it was miserable out.
Yeah.
Mike and I went to Apoptosis, which is his buddy's brewery.
Okay.
And sat there talking to Lance, one of the bartenders. And I decided I would sponsor us with their raspberry wheat. It has a really cool name. I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's called raspberry wheat.
So we're just going to call it raspberry wheat. What do you think of it, Nick?
It's really, so it's mellow in the beginning, and then that raspberry comes out really, really strong at the end and keeps growing in your mouth. It's kind of it's a really fun beer for me. I like wheats because it does this all the time. And it's more of a surprise in the end, but it always catches me off guard because of how much that raspberry grows. So really, really, really excited for today's episode. I say again, another TikTok famous celebrity. Soon we'll have them all on here.
So I found Rachel. We're going to introduce her here. On TikTok, she was talking about her debt journey.
Yeah.
Which I listened to that one video. I sent it to you, and I'm like, we have to talk to her. So Rachel, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you are drinking?
So I'm Rachel. You can find me online as the Black Millennial Woman, kind of self-explanatory there. And tonight I've got from Old Salem Brewing, which is a local brewery here in Roanoke, Virginia. I've got their Sweet Caroline, which is a Mexican lager with a little bit of lime. It has a flavor profile kind of like a Dos Equis. So I really like that.
That sounds delicious.
That sounds like something we should try.
Yes, it does. I'm very, very excited. So Rachel, all right, let's start from the beginning. We talked that you had a debt journey, so that means you were in debt. So walk me through how you got there and what you did to get yourself out.
So I guess full disclosure, I am still working on getting myself out of that debt. But life happens. If I'm perfectly honest, I'm in my mid-30s. I've been married, I've been divorced, and one of the life lessons I will happily share is be on the same page with finances with your partner. Prior to marriage, I had a great almost 800 credit score. I was rocking and rolling, and then afterwards life happened and we made some less than savvy financial decisions. And while we remain good friends, like no shade to him at all, like I still love him dearly, but we were not good life partners in a lot of ways. So when we separated, we divvied things up, and I took on a lot of the debt because I also had a lot of the financial responsibility in the relationship. So I took that with me along with my freedom. And I have no regrets. So just after I left, I was living in Texas. I got the job opportunity to move to Virginia, and I was just like, this is a turning point in my life. I'm gonna pick up and move. And then COVID hit, like a few months after I picked up my life and moved, and everything just kind of went sideways. So I've kind of restarted my debt journey and working on digging out of that hole. I had like no shade to past me for the decisions that she made. Like I did the best I could during the time, and now I can do better. I know better, and I'm working to do better. So that's where I'm at.
Good for you. Now, did your company, so what do you do for a career?
So what do I do for a career? So I am the founder and CEO of Triforce Life Designs, and we do small business and personal finance coaching and consulting. I have previously worked in the financial services industry as a registered financial representative. My educational background is in accounting and finance, got my MBA, done a few things with money, but my company we work to help people just better themselves and sorry, our tagline is, build the life you truly want to, the life that you truly desire and deserve. Redesign your relationship with money and redesign your relationship with your life, kind of thing.
That's great. So I guess you moved your company to Virginia then?
I actually started it here in Virginia. I started it last year.
Okay.
This one.
So what, I guess, sorry, you had a job before COVID. Did the company pay you to move there?
Uh, no, part of my debt journey was the moving expenses to break my lease and pack my stuff and move 1,000 miles away from home, basically. So I did that, but it was an opportunity, and I was just like, you know what, my life's in, this is just a turning point in my life, so I'm going to take this leap of faith and head over. And like I said, the pandemic hit, we all went to remote work, and that didn't, like, ironically enough, that didn't suit me, but now most of my work is remote anyway, so I guess it kind of grew on me. And so I've changed positions a couple times. I was previously, before I started my company, I was the chief financial officer of a small nonprofit in the area, which was really cool.
Sure.
But I've just, ideally, my goal is to not have to punch anyone else's clock.
Yeah, no, that's great. And say congrats for starting a business and coming out of it. And do you have any employees for your business?
Right now, it's just me, but I'm hoping that I'm not hoping. By the end of the year, I want to have at least 2 more employees, because I don't know if you saw my video about me doing my business taxes. I was just like, I said before that I was going to hire some people to help me, and I didn't do that. And I was just like, employees are an investment. They're not an expense, they're an investment. And it's just really smart that, like, do what you excel at and hire out the rest.
Sure. And it takes a lot for people to learn from a business owner, because you have different mindsets, right? Like, nobody can do it as good as I can, or hey, this is easy enough for me to just go do. I'm just going to go do it, not realizing how much time it takes to go do those things. And then everything else piles up. And that's why we work, 18, 20 hours a day. And you're like, man, trust me, it's so hard for me to get something shipped from Home Depot when I'm like, I could just go drive to the dang place, realizing that takes 2 hours. And I'm like, I got to learn to just get better at this.
Well, that's one things Dawn had to start learning was, I can sit here and do all the social media for break room therapy, or I can have more time to, cultivate relationships and have somebody else do half of the social media for break room therapy, because of course she's hands-on. She doesn't give any of it all the way up.
Yep.
But she knows that sometimes you just got to hire somebody to do some stuff so that she can get the actual real stuff done.
Yep. And as I say, so all right, you're in your debt journey currently for yourself. Why don't you tell us what you're doing to get yourself out of it?
So the first place that I started, after I came to terms with the realness. So I feel like that that is step one. You have to come to terms with the gravity of the situation. There's a scene in one of my favorite movies, Shopaholic, where she sits down with her best friend and they go through all of the bills and they like drink wine. And if that's what you need to do, that's what you do. But you have to like sit down, gather up all your bills. If you borrowed money from friends, write it all down, sit down and like actually come to terms with the situation that you're in. And then like figure out what your income is, figure out what's going out, and then be like, okay, is there any way I can spend the money that I have more efficiently, or can I make more money? Those are typically your only two options. You either gotta spend the money that you have a little bit more efficiently than you are, and then reallocate that money to paying down debt, or bring in more money. And ultimately, there's always going to be life expenses. Life cost money. That's just the world we live in. So then it's, making more money. So I came to terms with everything that I owed in the realness, and I have started looking for ways to increase my income and then negotiating with my creditors, which was the video that you found. And so I've been on the phone, which stereotypical millennial. I don't like phone calls. I don't want to call people. But this is absolutely the place where the help chat won't do it. You have to pick up the phone, call the numbers, and actually talk to a human. And you absolutely can negotiate your debt. There are companies that you can work with to negotiate your debt. There are legitimate companies. There are a lot of scams out there, but there are legitimate companies that you can work with to help you negotiate debt. I chose to do it myself because I don't know, it's one of those things, hands-on, maybe know-it-all mentality. But that was just something that I chose to do myself. So I've just been calling my credit card companies to get lower interest rates for one, so that the payments are more manageable. And then with more manageable payment, more of my money can go to the actual principal of the debt instead of 29.99% interest rates.
Sure. Let's say it's huge. I mean, most people don't believe that you can actually just do that, and people are willing to work with you, and because they know that they're going to make millions of dollars off of your $10,000 purchase. So,
well, we've had Vanessa on many, many times, and I sat down with her and talked about her debt, and I told her, I said, let's knock out some of these small things because most people need wins. And the first time Vanessa came on the show to talk about what she did, she was like, yeah, that doesn't work for me. Yep. I need to get rid of the highest interest rate because I don't want to spend that much money. And I'm like, hey, that's fantastic, because most people need a win. I need to pay off this $2,000 bill instead of the $10,000 bill because I have to have a win. Yeah, and she goes, I don't care about the win. I want to get rid of the smartest debt first. Yep. So, Rachel, what type of debt payer are you? Do you need those wins, or are you okay just attacking the stuff that needs to go away the quickest?
So I ran the numbers on both. They talk about the snowball versus the avalanche method all the time. So I ran the numbers, and it did not make a whole lot of sense. It didn't make a whole lot of financial difference one way or the other. So I'm a small win person. I need to knock out my smallest debts first. And because I was able to negotiate the interest rates on several of my cards, that helps a lot. So even if I do have a few cards that are a little bit more monstrous in the amounts, I still have a win. It now makes more sense for me to pay off the smaller cards, some of which I was not able to negotiate lower interest rates. So I save money both ways doing it that way.
And sorry, I want to hit back to one of the biggest things that you said when you were talking about it. The biggest thing that people need to do is write it down, right? You need to come to agreement, but really writing it down is absolutely key. So that way you know what you have and where it needs to go. Because otherwise you just, oh, hey, yeah, I remember I have this bill and this bill, and you forget about something. But if you have it written down fully, this is what I owe, this is what I have, now you have that end goal completely there. And writing things down, you said I'm a millennial as well myself. I'm the opposite of you. I absolutely love talking on the phone. I think that texting and the self-help chat line thing on the computer, I'm like, I'm very blunt and forward. Like, it'd be like, what do you need? Lumber.
I'm a Gen Xer. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Oh, if like Home Depot will pop up, can we help you today? Yes, I need a light. Oh, here's a million lights to choose from. No, I want an outside light. Here's our outside light. God dang it, I need a silver light. Like, I don't. You're supposed to be able to read my. If I call, I'd be like, hey, I need a silver light for outside that has like a glass globe around it. Great. Okay, cool. Like this one, sir. Yep, that's the one. Thanks. Like, look at my old orders. This is what I need.
Well, she had said it too. She doesn't like to make phone calls, but
willing to do it.
That's how you get this stuff down. So, I've told you before. One of my best friends, Mikey, got into a ton of debt.
Yeah.
And my wife called his girlfriend and said, we got to get rid of this debt. I guarantee you, everybody has that friend that doesn't mind talking on the phone.
Yep.
Get them to call your debtors with you.
Yep.
And they will help you negotiate if you really can't make those calls. Because unlike Rachel, I'm not calling anybody ever for anything. I don't want to talk to you on the phone. I don't want to know you. I'm happy to just never talk.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to. And at that point, find a friend or a spouse or somebody that's happy to do that. A company
that's out there to do it. If it scares you that much or you hate it that much, pay the money. But excuse me, you understand that you could do just what they're doing as well. So, now are you still currently using your credit cards or just paying them down?
I am, for the most part, just paying them down. I have one credit card that I use for stuff. You get cash back on it, but for the most part, I'm like, I need this to go away as quickly as possible. So for the most part, I'm currently in the cash is king camp.
Sure. I was gonna make the point, and you can call it cheap, you can call it whatever, but I remember going into all my lunch places, let's just call it Subways or anything like that, and I never tipped for any of that stuff, right? Because I went and walked myself through this service, and I realized yesterday or today, whatever it is, that the reason I carry cash is so that way I don't have to answer the button of do I want to tip? Because I mean, really, my answer is no. You never tipped you before, and you never like nothing has changed. You're making, technically you fight for your own wage, but I was like, man, I just got my $8 or I got my $1 and something back, and I was like, great, this is mine. I didn't just overspend and give it because the stupid screen is asking me, do I want to spend more money?
I always just say no. That a lot of times that's the thing. Square or whoever it is will just pop up.
Oh, see, usually it pops up 10, 15, 20%. Other, no. I'm like, pass, but it's so much easier for me to pay cash. That way I know that I take that $1.50 and there it goes. And people are like, that's so cheap. And I was like, no, it's only cheap because like it's the new normal right now.
If I use everything. Cash, I don't get 1.5% back. And I need my money.
I don't do credit cards, my man.
I do.
So all right, now you also mentioned, look, you have two options, right? You can work harder or spend your money differently. And I'd love to have this fun conversation with you because you are a millennial. And I happen to be the opposite of David, where, the old saying is like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, go earn it, go do it. And I'm actually pretty for that, right? Like, go work your overtime, go get that second job, go do all this type of stuff because you can make your own future. And then, I'm actually not as much for like, hey, stop buying the Starbucks, stop buying the stuff. I still think you need to look at that because like we talk about, hey, you don't need Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, all the 50 million, pick one to make your life keep going or whatever it is, but you don't need all these things that are out there.
I need all those things because I have a wife.
That's true, but
she doesn't let me get rid of them.
So now, what did you opened another business, so you're generating a second income. Now, did you cut anything out of your life or reallocate your monies in any different way?
Some. But one of the things that I did recently, and you can see the video on my TikTok page, is talking about the aspirational budget. What does your money and expenses actually, like what is the life that you want? And what are you actually spending your money on in the life that you want? There is only so much spending down you can do. And there is a point where your mental health and well-being suffer because you're spending so little and you're trying to pay down debt. I am absolutely not one of the people in the camp where it's just like, no, everything has all it has to be super frugal and you spend down to like nothing but necessities. I'm like, I'm absolutely not, because I'm going to be miserable the whole time and I'm not going to stick by that. So like, I'm going to go get my beer from my local brewery, or I'm going to go get my coffee from the local coffee shop, and I'm going to tip.
Right.
That's just me personally. So there's a point where it just makes more sense to find ways to increase your income. There's only so much spending down you can do. So what was your question again?
No, sorry. So you haven't really changed your spending habits too much. Like you're not, you know, you're still doing the same. And don't get me wrong, I tip. I just don't tip on fast food. Let's be clear. So if it's a coffee shop, yes. If it's a brewery, yes. But like fast foods, right? I'm not walking into Little Caesars and going, hey, give me a $5 hot and ready, and somehow I just paid you $7 for this hot and ready.
There's a Little Caesars that has a $5 hot and ready.
$5.55, whatever it is.
No, it's like $6 now.
I don't know. I just paid.
And yes, I don't give them a tip either.
Like so again.
But if you go to a local pizza shop,
if I go to a local spot,
I tip them. Even if I pick it up, I give them at least $2.
My wife always picks up pizza. It was like normally we go out, I guess, if we go out to eat on a constant. So, but if it's like,
well, I get pizza from a place over in Granville, Andiamo's.
Andiamo's, yeah, I love Andiamo's.
I always give them a couple bucks if I'm picking it up. Greco's in Kentwood, I give them a couple bucks.
Yeah, but you're not doing it at Pizza Hut.
Fuck no.
No,
that's Pizza Hut.
All right, I know we're gonna get sidetracked because that's who we are. Here's the question, and this isn't what this is about, but I want to ask this. So I've changed my mind because I've always been the guy to round up, but I am no longer doing that. Okay,
round up where?
Taco Bell.
No, fuck that.
McDonald's.
No.
What was the one?
Oh, I actually used to do it all the time when I worked there 28 years ago or whatever it was.
I rounded up just yesterday at Firehouse Subs. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll explain why I did it. But like all these, and so I'm stopping, and it takes so much of me to stop. Hey, do you want to run up to 3 cents to 5 cents? And my answer is no. So much now, especially this year. Like that was my big goal this year.
Why?
Because of you people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, it's because you guys are complaining that people aren't getting paid enough.
Wait, when you say you people,
you liberals?
Oh, liberals. I didn't know if you were talking about the brown people.
No.
Oh god.
Yes. The Persians out there.
Yes, the Persians out there.
No, you liberals. But what I will say is the fact that, okay, you know what? If I think that minimum wage shouldn't be 15, that's fine with me. We could debate that some other time. But the fact that the company is making billions of dollars and these people are not getting they're not getting pay increases, but the company's getting that huge of a tax write-off because it's my money that's giving them the tax write-off.
It's your money that they are donating to charity, and they are getting their tax write-off on the money that you gave them.
And so, right, and that like, it pisses me off so much.
Yes, it should.
I can't take that tax write-off, so it bugs me. So I've stopped doing that.
How many times do you think you go to a place that asks you to round up a week?
Oh, a week? I mean, you think about it. Speedway asked if I want $1. I mean, a week. Okay, let's just
give me ballpark.
Ballpark 7 to 10.
So let's say 10.
Okay.
So that's 10 times every week you go to a place. That's 520 times a year.
Yeah.
Let's say all you round up is 5 cents.
Yeah.
Okay. You could take that 5 cents. Let's say it's 10 cents because I like round numbers.
Yep.
That's, what is it, $5.20?
Yeah.
That you can just donate to somebody.
I could.
And probably they will do better with that money than whoever these idiots are giving it to. Because a lot of times they give it to the United fucking Way, and the United fucking Way doesn't help people that really need fucking help.
Well, and it's hard. But so the reason I did it at Firehouse Subs is so it goes to local first responders.
It does.
Local.
I would do it for them.
And so I asked, I said, all right, how much of it goes to it? And they said, all of it, every dime. We don't take a penny of it because normally when you donate, you know, it's like 10% or 8%. But it's every cent of it. So actually, I rounded up to at my daughter's Scholastic Book Fair.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So the lady behind it, actually, she must have been for our school district type thing. And I said, it was 40 cents. And I said, hey, how much, you know, this 40 cents, what does it go for? And how much of it goes for it? And she goes, all of it. All of it goes to us. And then we get to go buy books with it. So it's not really a tax write-off in the sense it's just, hey, we're all pooling our money extra, and then they get to go buy more books and put them into the libraries and do these types of things. And I said, great, have my money. It's yours. It just happens to be a little jar over here that isn't. But if I'm giving a corporation a tax write-off and I don't get to see that tax write-off, I'm not doing it anymore. So that's how I'm looking.
Good.
Yeah. But it's very hard for me because like Taco Bell, which I eat 15 times a day. True fact,
because you love tacos.
I had some work done on my mouth a while back, and I had to eat soft foods. So for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and fourth meal, I ate Taco Bell 4 times in one day because it was soft. But that being said, is they're like, hey, do you want to do it to help employees go to college? And I was like, man, that should be something that this company pays for. And I've done it like every time because I'm like, man, I really want you to succeed. And like, that's how my brain works, is like, I want you to succeed. I hope that you're going to college and you're taking my money. But at the end of the day, it's really not how it's doing. It's not how it's working. It just pisses. So it takes a lot for me not to do it because I mean, I am a giving person. Like, don't tell anybody, but I have a reputation to uphold. So yeah, I'm trying to work on me a lot this year. So
be giving in better ways.
I am giving in better ways right now.
Yeah, don't round up at fucking McDonald's.
Yeah,
screw them.
But dude, all right, so it's really hard because Ronald McDonald, I know it's McDonald.
Ronald McDonald House is great.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is fantastic.
The things they do.
That's a wonderful thing. But you can give to them without saying to McDonald's, yeah, have my extra 20 cents.
Yeah, round it.
Yeah.
But it's just, so it's hard because
this is what happens, Rachel. We sit here and we go off for 2 minutes on shit that had nothing to do with what we were supposed to be talking about.
It's just stuff that eats us alive all day, every day. And corporate America greed, because dang those people. No. So anyway, back to it. You're spending, so you haven't really cut much out of your life for how you're living, because one thing David and I agree upon is mental health. Because I tell you what, I mean, if you have to cut everything, you're sitting in a dark room, with the very, very basics, and you're just, it reminds me of back when I was a kid, and you yourself, you said you're mid-30s, late 30s. When you had to wait until 9 o'clock to get on your phone because it was 3 minutes, or then it became 7 and you were all excited because then you had 2 hours to talk to your friends because your parents would let you talk from 7 to 9. You're like, oh my gosh, I can finally.
You young people.
Yeah.
I call my friends, it was long fucking distance, and I had the rotary fucking phone, okay?
Right. But you were rich, so it was way different. But
right, I was rich. I had a push button that sounded like it was a rotary.
Yeah. So we agree that, like, and that's why I say I'd rather go earn the money than cut my lifestyle, right? Because I know that when I go earn the money, I don't change my lifestyle to be like, oh, now I can afford 15 extra beers. Nope, I still have the same beers. I just sit at the bar and drink all night until I pass out, and then it's the same amount. But and I think that's where there's a huge problem with what's happening with what people are saying. Hey, you have to cut everything and stop going to Starbucks. And it's like, man, what if that's that one thing that gets that person up every day? Like I had an addiction to energy drinks, right? I drank them from age probably, I don't even know, 15 to I'm 34. God, I'm gonna be 35 this year. Probably till I was 31.
You're an old fuck.
I did. So 31. And I ended up with a hole in my esophagus because I have acid problems and all that. But like I stopped for 3 years. And there's still not a day that I'm like, oh man, I really want to. But like I know what got me up every morning. Like when I was having a bad day, I used to work 3 a.m. to 1 p.m. But like I know what that, like when I got to work, just that crack, ice cold energy drink, just like, all right, I can do this. And it was like mellow. And I'm like, man, I can make this day happen. That feeling, if I didn't have that, like, I don't know how, I would never do it. That would not be the number one thing I'd cut out. Sure. Well, if you're not willing to cut that out, then cut going out to eat. Fat. Like, then I'll just be depressed because I'm not out to eat. Like,
but again, you and I are big on budgeting.
Very much.
When you look at all of these things, what do you spend a month on energy drinks?
Back then?
Yeah.
Let's call it $3 a day every single day.
Okay,
right?
but that's people are
$90
spending at Starbucks.
Right. Well, they're spending more because they're buying
depending on
coffees.
Depending on what they're buying. But they might not do it every day. But still.
Yep.
If that gets you through your day without wanting to either beat the shit out of somebody or jump off the roof.
Yep.
That's an okay expense to me.
It's a great expense, right? So what now how long did it take for your business to open and you to start making money so that way you could start getting on this debt?
So I think because this is not the first time I have opened my own business. I mean, I think it maybe took me like 7 days to get the paperwork filed and everything, get the like legal framework done. And then because I was just doing other stuff in my life, and one of the things that I admitted was it took me a while to start running my business like a business and not a hobby, because I was still working full-time job and doing other things. I've recently gone back to school to start my doctoral program, so that as like that's a whole nother thing.
It's a whole lot of debt.
So yeah. I think for me personally, it was about 3 months before I got my first client. But that's because I was not being a full-time business owner.
Sure.
If I'm being perfectly honest.
No, and that's what we want is honesty, because you know, I worked in a day job up until the second time in October, but like the first time I did it for 10 years up during COVID and a couple months past. And I owned my business, and my business is fine, right? And then but once you're just half-assing two things, right? Is the way I look at it, right? Now,
you know what I'm going to say.
Full-assing one thing is
Ron Swanson said, never half-ass two things, whole-ass
one thing, baby. Ron Swanson, it's I know what I ordered, son. Say,
I know more than you,
right? But so it's when you take your business and actually treat it like a business, you'd be so much more surprised of how far you can get when you're giving it full effort. The question is, can you hold yourself accountable to make sure that you're actually doing it full time, right? Because there's times where you're like, oh man, I made an extra $20 more than I thought. Cool, I'm gonna take this little. I'm gonna get out early on Friday and go drink with my friends. Nope, got to do this. So, I mean, I say no a lot. So,
well, I remember when I was much more poorer than I am now. I drank cheaper beer.
Yeah,
because I could get cheaper beer in a greater quantity than I could get really good beer. So I drank, I tell Mike all the time, I'm like, yeah, when Old Chicago was open, I would go and I would drink, my 4 beers that they allowed, on your card.
Yeah.
And then I would drink Old Style the rest of the night because I could get a 16-ounce Old Style for $1.50.
Nice.
And by the time I drank 4 real beers, I can't taste the Old Style anyway. It's just holding the buzz. I'm a happy guy.
Right. So you're going back to school to get your doctoral. Is that getting all? Are you taking debt for that?
Currently, no. So there are a lot, like you don't have to necessarily, depending on your route, you don't have to necessarily go into debt for your doctorate. Most doctoral programs are through like fellowship or grant work, or like cheap labor programs. Sure. That's kind of mean, but a lot of doctoral programs, you actually work as an undergraduate professor for the universities. There's all sorts of fellowships. And one piece of advice I got very early was never pay for a doctorate. So a financial advisor gave me that advice several years ago when I was thinking about it. They were like, never pay for a doctorate degree. There are absolutely doctoral degrees that you can pay for and programs that you can do. And they typically have a lot less barriers to entry than some of the traditional doctoral programs, and they all have merit. It's just whatever works best for you. And at the end of the day, it's about whether or not you're going to stick with the program. And if it's something that you want to do. This is just a point of like, I am doing this. This is something that I've talked about since I was in elementary school. I want this for me. So it's going to get done one way or the other. And it just so happened that this is the juncture at my life where I'm taking that leap.
Sure. Another side note, I'm actually going to pay for my doctorate. I have no, I mean, I've gone to school, but I have no degrees.
You don't have an associate yet.
Nope, I have nothing. But I can actually pay another country, and I can pay somebody in there to actually get me my doctorate, and it's going to cost me about $4,000. So I'm going to get my doctorate. The only reason is because I have medical doctor friends and other people. My wife's in the medical field, and they're all doctor this, doctor, and stuff like that.
You just want somebody to say doctor.
And I'm going to force them to have to call me Dr. Nick, right? And
have you seen Spies Like Us?
No.
You need to watch that movie.
But
at one point it's doctor. But
like, you know, and so to me it's going to be for fun, and I'll have a piece of paper that states it, and it'll be you're in Virginia. One of my very close friends is in West Virginia, and he's the head of infectious diseases for West Virginia. And so I love to mess with him. And to me, once I get that 4,000 extra, like FU money, that's what I'm spending it on. I know what I'm doing, and it'll be legal. It will be legal.
I told both Christy and my daughter at one point, I'm like, I really think I need to go get my master's.
Yeah.
And they go, do you really want to do more school? I really fucking don't. So I'm probably not going to get my master's because I just don't want to do any more school.
But Rachel likes school, though. It seems like it.
I mean, I like school, but I don't want to work that hard.
I'm an academic masochist. I will absolutely own up to that. Yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment when it comes to academia. So this is just something that I wanted to do, and I've always said I'm going to do it. So here I am doing it. Do I need this for anything? Absolutely not. But like you said, I want somebody to call me doctor.
Her and I might be new best friends because literally I got my bachelor's in finance because it was just something I felt I needed to do. It didn't get me any further in my career. It didn't make me any more money. I was just like, I never finished my bachelor's. I want my bachelor's. I went back and I got it in finance, and I graduated with high honors because I can. And literally I just did it to have the damn piece of paper, and work paid for most of it. So,
and so trust me, work paying for it. I absolutely love it. I think it's great. But one thing I'll tell you is, I am of the mindset D's get degrees, right?
They do, but it's a lot better when you can say I graduated with honors.
I'll take this.
No, you.
I think sure and that's something to be proud of. It's a personal accomplishment, right? But I don't think unless you're a lawyer going for something ridiculously huge to walk in. I mean, look at you, right? You had honors, you did everything, and your company did nothing for you.
Oh yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Right. So to me, again, I could walk into the same position you're in, have D's, have the lowest whatever, and still get the exact same outcome as you.
Until last May, I didn't qualify to have my job.
Say, but what I'm saying, like, you understand what I'm going with.
Oh, yeah,
right?
totally.
Like, so to me, I've never looked at my personal doctor and gone, hey man,
where'd you go to school? What were your grades?
Are you John Hopkins? Did you graduate top of your class? No. I look and go, hey, do you know how to count a pulse and make sure I'm still alive? Yep. Okay, great. See ya.
Because I'm going to be that dick.
Yeah.
Did you ever smoke pot with Johnny Hopkins?
Johnny Hopkins and slow
Kettering.
So I will add, because this is, as a Black woman, I have to point out that my credentials are always in question. I walk into a room and people are automatically like, do you belong here? Prove it.
Huh.
So that is a point of fact for Black women in a lot of places across the United States.
Sure.
And also, Black women are one of the fastest growing demographics in the doctoral field, where we're out here being overeducated. We're out here being overeducated. So not only it's for me, true, but also it adds clout and things like that. I am like certified out the wazoo, simply because of who I am as a person. But I walk into the room and people are like, are you qualified to be here? I don't know. They just look at me and question whether or not I'm qualified to be here. And now I've got all the checks and balances and dotted, dotted my I's, crossed my T's, and it's like, absolutely, I am qualified to be there. There is no question. Are you qualified to be here?
Yeah, my answer is always no. I'm in the real estate field, and trust me, like when I tell you, I literally dress like this no matter where I go. It's always funny because people will go to the people with suits.
What shoes did you wear today?
Oh, I have slide sandals on, buddy. Right. Yeah, just some literally. I
didn't put pants on until it was time for practice.
Say, so but no, I didn't know that Black women are literally the number one that's going to get doctorates. That's amazing. And I'm sorry that people judge the fact that, hey, you have to figure out if you're qualified to be there.
Well, that's one of the things that, you and I mean, I'm brown, but I'm white passing.
You are.
So you and I don't have to deal with those things because people look at us and they're like, well, they're white guys, they're fine, whatever. But there are issues out there that, you and I can't necessarily relate to.
Right. We don't fathom it. It's just not something that commonly comes up with us. No, and trust me, there's things that we deal with that I'm just so. The difference is you're willing to fight for it, and I just find it as a normal aspect of things, right? Because I know, literally having this giant beard, looking like I'm a homeless bum that walks into a real estate meeting, and there's guys in suits with their. I'll wear a watch once in a blue moon, but right? People walk up to them, like, "Oh, hey, I'm just getting started," and I'm sitting back here going, "Beer, I've been doing this for 13 years." And then all of a sudden, the word will get around of, hey, oh, Nick owns this, and I hear you're the guy to talk to. No, not me, buddy. I'm just here to drink beer and shoot the shit with whoever wants to talk. And a million questions, but really, trust me, it's a very much judge. Everybody judges. The true fact is you judge somebody within the first 5 seconds of meeting them. It's not because it's just a thing that automatically happens, right? Our brain judges. You judge a dog or a cat, whether it's going to be fearful within the first 5 seconds of seeing it, right? Am I comfortable with that dog? Am I not comfortable with that? Am I comfortable with that person? Am I not comfortable? It's just it's a genetic thing that happens that says, hey, this is how I'm going to judge you, right?
Well, I think it's different depending on the people. So there are people that will sit there and look at somebody and go, well, you might not be educated because, you're a brown guy.
Yeah.
But you and I look at people and go, is that an asshole or not an asshole? I mean, that's our judgment, literally. I mean, I look at somebody and go, I don't think I like you. I think you're an asshole. And I know everybody looks at me and they're like, that guy's an asshole. I don't want to deal with him.
That's true.
And I'm okay with that.
Yep. And then you hear the one asshole comment, you're like, that's our kind of asshole.
Yeah, exactly. That's the guy I want to talk to because that's the same type of asshole as me.
So how long is it going to take you to get your doctorate?
3 to 5 years.
3 to 5.
The program can be done in 3 years. I'm currently on the 4.5 year track. I'm taking a slow pace because I am working full time and doing other things on top of my degree. If somebody else wants to roll up and hold the fort down so that I can go to college full time, great. But until then, if I've got to juggle all the other aspects of my life, then it's going to take me a little while. But I told myself by my 40th birthday, I'm going to have my doctorate. So that gives me 5 years. That gives me a little less than 5 years.
So yeah, so we're both almost, I'm almost 35, you're 35. So I'm
45.
You are old as shit though.
Thank you.
So you're not gonna make any more money. You're literally just doing this for self-pride, self-everything.
No. I mean, I'm doing it for self, but I also plan future me is a millionaire. Okay. Sure. Future me is a millionaire. I just have to get from here to there. So okay, do I need this degree to make more money? No, but am I going to use it to make more money? Absolutely.
Okay. And so 5 years, how much do you think? So you can get it done in 3, which I like 3 years.
Well, she's looking at 4 to 4.5.
Yeah, but if she finds somebody that can pay for it, and so she can just go to school, I can loan this money, get her into the millionaire status, and then she can pay me back really high interest. I mean, she's okay with taking debt. I think I can make this happen. My wife will be a little irritated that I'm spending. What do you think? $120,000, and you just write over a $50,000 or a $500,000 check to me when you're done. When you make your first $1 million, I think that's a really good trade for me. So, No, I
always looking for an angle.
Always got to look for it, baby. No, it's no, and that's great. Like use it to your full advantage, right? I think you're on the right track to. No, sorry, I want to get back to it before I jump to conclusions. You've written down what your debts are, and you're paying on it every month. How long until you're out of debt?
It varies. So, if I go with the little snail's pace that I plugged into one of my calculators, it's 3 years. That's just adding a couple $100 extra a month. It's 3 years. My current goal is to pay it down in 1 year. That's just a personal goal. I want to be able to increase my, it's like, well, I'm working on increasing my income to make that possible. I want to pay back, the friends and family that loaned me money to make this move and, take care of my life after the divorce, and then get the creditors off my back, and be able to walk further in my life, debt free from like basically my past life. I'm not afraid of taking on debt, especially for business ventures, especially, you can leverage other people's money, particularly at low interest rates for like real estate investment and other stuff like that. I'm absolutely not opposed to taking on business debt. But as far as my personal debt goes, I definitely want to get out from under that.
Sure. I say we talk about the using other people's money at low interest. Whenever you meet those people, send them my way, because I'm paying 11% in interest. But I have a friend who she's a female in my industry, and literally just has this ability to get mom and pops people to lend her money for like 2 to 3%. And I'm like, I don't understand how you do it. And she'll come up and be like, "Oh yeah, I got $150,000 for 3%. They just want to see me succeed." And I'm like, "What? Like I'm over here paying 11? Like, damn me!" But she gets away with it. So whenever you find the people you're talking about to give low interest debt for businesses, I'm all about it. I'll make you a millionaire by finding me cheap money. See, there you go.
My wife's
found
people to give low interest rates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Small Business Administration.
Yeah. It has to be $1 million. And it's actually not small anymore. They're just like 1% or less than the regulars now.
Hold on. She got a great.
It was rate. Back then, though. Interest rate was 3%.
It was pandemic.
Yeah. So it's way different. But yeah.
Interest rates now suck ass. Yeah. And they're going up.
They just got quoted 7.7.
Yeah. They're going up. Another 0.25% raise at the next meeting.
3 supposedly coming up. But
I think it'll just be a quarter.
Anyway, so sorry. When you're working on your debt, you're paying a couple hundred extra. Are you doing it? You said you're doing it basically the snowball effect, so the smallest one to get your wins. Now, walk me through a conversation with a credit card company to lower your interest rate, if you wouldn't mind.
So, as I've mentioned in some of my videos, it varies based on who you are talking to. Discover was my favorite interaction. It's very much a person. It was very personable. Now, one of the things that I leveraged was the COVID-19 pandemic. If you look up the website to whatever credit card company you're talking about, there's usually like a section that's like, I need help to pay my bills or whatever like that. And a lot of them instituted options due to the COVID-19 pandemic after a whole bunch of people got laid off and things like that. And some of those programs are still in place. So I was just like, and it was absolutely factual. The job that I moved to Virginia for after we went remote and everything, it just kind of went to a head. I ended up having to leave that job and losing, a very, very good, strong salary. So I've just been like, hey, I typically always mention due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I've had a decrease in income and I'm looking to see what I can do. A lot of them will ask you, how long do you expect this to last? And one of the things that I am personally working on is being more aware of what I say and what I speak over my life. And I'm out here trying to be a millionaire. Yep. So I don't want to be like I don't want to tell these companies, oh yeah, I'm not going to have, I'm going to be broke for the next year or whatever, just to get them to lower my interest rate. But I will choose my words carefully depending on how the conversation is going. But honestly, be honest. If you genuinely think, hey, my job's not going to get any better, tell them that. If it's going to be 3 months or 6 months, or if you're like, hey, I just need like a 90-day break while I get some things in order, tell them that. Usually the companies that I've talked to Discover, I've talked to Citibank, I've talked to Capital One, I've talked to Wells Fargo, I've talked to Chase. Yeah. And typically there's like a 3 month, 6 months, or 12-month situation. And a couple of cards, it's a couple of the store cards that I opened when I was like 18 and fresh out, like got my first job, got a little bit of money, and I opened the store cards, like they get you and
my wife did the same thing.
And I used them wisely, like 18-year-old me used them wisely, and I had a great credit score back then, in 2008. Yeah. And then, things happened. And now I don't need them anymore. So it's just like, if I need to close this card to get 0%, okay, or if I need to, whatever I need to say to get like 9.9% as opposed to the 29 or the 26% interest. It's just like, yeah, this is going to be a 6-month ordeal, or this will be, a 90 days. Like Capital One was the least amenable.
Really?
Yeah, it was a very mechanical conversation. It was very almost like I could feel them clicking the buttons on the screen and putting stuff into their calculator. Wells Fargo was the same thing, but at least it felt like I was talking to a person and not a robot. I mean, no shade to the Capital One person. I was talking to an actual person, but it was a very mechanical, robotic conversation.
Sure, and that's hard. I was applying for, I do have a credit card, I think. Actually, I do. I have a Lowe's one. Well, it's a Lowe's accounts receivable, and they did send me a physical card, but it's all ran through the computer system. So I have a card if I need it, but I don't know if I could use it outside of Lowe's. I've never thought that way.
Probably not.
But anyway, so that being said, it was like, hey, they're asking questions like, oh, how much money did you spend, last year? What do you project to be spending this year? And I'm like, I'm just like you. What do I project to spend? $5 million fucking dollars? Like that's my projection, baby. Like, what is it actually going to be? I don't know, somewhere close to like 2 million, right? But like, if you ask me what I want, baby, I want $5 million. Like, let's go. And the more I have, the more I'm going to buy.
So, do you know the bank that prompted the bankruptcy when it finally happened?
Chase?
Nope.
Wells Fargo.
Discover.
Nice.
I got a process server. They handed me the paperwork.
Oh, for years.
Yeah. You're going to court. And I went, the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And I filed bankruptcy the next Monday.
So my question is, all right, and do you know your numbers pretty well?
Numbers for
your cards, I guess, and like how much you owe and what your payments were and what they are now.
Yes.
Okay, so you want to Discover was a really good one, right? That's the one that worked with you really well?
Yes.
Okay, so you went from 29 to, you mentioned like 9.9% interest. Okay, so tell me what your numbers were to what your numbers are now. Walk me through that, like your best one and what you did and what you have. Does that make sense?
So as far as like, you mean interest rate numbers?
Payment, like, okay, so if your interest rate was 29 and you were paying 1,500 and now your interest rate is 10% or 9.9, and now your payments 500, and did they knock your debt off? Like, or did they just change the interest rate and change your payment for you?
So they just changed the interest rate and the amount, the required minimum payment. So as long as I could afford to, if I could afford to maintain my previous minimum payment with the lower interest rate and the lower, required payment, way more of it's going to the actual principal.
Yeah.
And that is the way it's worked on, I think, yeah, all of the cards that I was able to negotiate, that's basically how it was. They lowered my required minimum interest payment. Let me say that again. They lowered my interest rate, and then with that, the required minimum payment. And then I can just keep paying the old payment and more of it goes to principal.
Sure.
So I think with Discover, it was around 26%. I don't have it right in front of me.
That's close.
But with because
and what was a payment on 26%?
It was around 170.
170 a month. Okay.
Yeah. And
at
so
26%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now I think I pay them like $79 a month is the required.
So you saved $100 just for minimum payment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what's your new interest rate?
It's 9.99%.
Okay, so 19, you saved 15% in interest. 16, 26 to 10, basically. Yeah, so 16% in interest, and it saved you $100. And now you can still make that payment of 170 because you were paying your minimums, but now you have $100 extra going towards that principal. Like, that's absolutely huge.
That's huge.
And say now doing that across multiple cards, how many cards? 4? I think I kind of heard in there: Chase, Wells Fargo. We don't need to get into that much detail.
Yeah, I had several. It was definitely more than 4.
Wow.
Yeah. Over the years, it just, one thing led to another, and you look up one day and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was Discover. I worked with Citibank and I was able to get a 0% interest on one of the cards that they owned. And
no shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. What were you at?
Both of those were previously store cards, like department store cards.
Sure.
And those department stores have gone by the wayside.
Say JCPenney.
Penny's
is still out there, but some of those other ones are not.
Yeah.
No. So okay, so they took 2 store cards. So examples of that would be JCPenney's or Sears or Gap or Old Navy,
Macy's.
Places that would give you an introductory, hey, get 40% off your first purchase when you sign up for this credit. So those types of cards, you had 2 of those. 2 of those businesses have passed. So Circuit City. Yeah, Circuit City. There you go. Okay, so they passed, and then they gave you a 0% interest.
Yeah, so on one of the cards, I was able to get 0%, and the other one, they dropped it down to 9.9%. So those went from like $120 to $130 payments to I think like $75, $80 payments.
That's
plus
amazing.
The lower interest rates.
Yeah, and the one is 0%. That's principal only. Like they've already admitted they've taken so much of your interest that you've already paid back the principal, and now they're just willing to take back what you owe in interest that you've earned already and just call it a wash.
Yes, because my store cards specifically were the ones that I opened. Those were my first 2 credit cards that I opened. So they were 17 years old. I have, at the interest rates, I have paid for that debt like 4 times over.
Holy cow.
So yeah, they're like, yeah, just pay the balance. I'm just like, yeah. You've already gotten a mortgage's worth of money from me.
Have you tried to just settle the debt?
That is an option. However, that is a path that I personally chose not to go.
Can you tell us why?
It was it's like I think some people would call it a point of pride. That I'm just like, I spent this money, and while I realize that I am absolutely being raked over the coals in interest, and it's egregious, I agreed to the terms terms and conditions with a sober mind, and I knew what I was doing, and I knew what I was doing when I spent this money. So I'm going to pay this money back. I'm going to pay down these debts. That's why I chose not to file for bankruptcy, even though that was an option for several years of my life. It's like I was financially insolvent. I was just like, I am going to increase my income and pay off these debts as just a personal point for me. It's like that's the energy that I want to put into the universe for me personally. Now, and now I'm like, bankruptcy is an absolutely fantastic tool for those who plan to go that route. And honestly, personal bankruptcy is nothing. Like, courts and companies may want to make you feel like a terrible person for filing bankruptcy. And I'm like, if I personally file bankruptcy, oh boo-hoo. It's nothing. Like, I'm not putting tens of thousands of employees out of business. I'm not, out of a job. It's me. I might at best, lose my house, and I end up as a tax write-off for bad debts for all of these multi-billion-dollar companies. So personal bankruptcy, if that's your thing, do it. Like, this is not financial advice, don't take it as such, disclaimer there. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with filing bankruptcy. There's absolutely nothing wrong with settling your debt. That's simply not the path that I chose.
So bankruptcy was way better before Bush. And I know this for a fact because I filed bankruptcy before Bush. I can't say it was before Bush. He was in office, but the bankruptcy standards changed in like 2004. And when I filed Chapter 8, which, absolved all my debts. And I remember going in and, we did it ourselves because we didn't have money for an attorney. And the judge was awesome with us. And I remember looking at my wife at the time and going, would we ever do this again? And she goes, hell no, we're never doing this again. We are learning from this. This sucks. We feel awful. Never again.
Sure.
But there were at least 2 sets of people in there that were filing for the second time.
Yeah.
And you can only file once every 8 years or 7 years or whatever it is.
And that's, there's the option of having that, right? I mean, I don't want to say joked. We've always joked and had that conversation, my wife and I, if one of us becomes terminally ill, everything goes into the other's name.
Yeah.
And we literally open as many credit cards as possible, with as much debt as possible, and we get divorced. And then we live just in a life that it's funny, everybody talks about this whole YOLO life. No, at that point we would live YOLO, right? Because like one of the two of us is passing and the debt's just going to go with you. We no longer married. We'll still love each other till the end. And if she miraculously gets good, she'll go into bankruptcy and then we'll be all right after that. But, it's sad that you have to think that way, right? In America.
Well, even me, when, I was trying to die, everything I have is beneficiary. Nothing is going to the estate. Nothing.
Fact.
Because I don't want anything to go through
probate.
Yep.
It will, no matter what, but
it will, but at that point I have nothing.
So now, Rachel, do you have any dependents, children?
Nope. I'm rocking it solo.
Okay. And now you're in Virginia. Are you currently renting? Do you own a house? Are you renting a room? What are you doing?
I am currently, I own my home. Well, the bank owns my home.
Sure.
Yeah. But I'm looking at fixing it up, clearing that out so I can start renting that out. Either get, a regular tenant or Airbnb if I can't stand to have somebody else in the house like constantly. Part-time rental is absolutely an option. And that, especially with the rental market around here, I chose to buy because the rent, they were raising the rent on my apartments, as a lot of people have suffered. And I was at the time in a good financial position. And I leveraged a USDA loan to do 0 down and bought my house that way using a USDA home loan. And my mortgage is now less than my rent would be, and I have twice as much space.
That's great. Now, why don't you rent out some rooms?
Yeah, I'm working on that. I had a roommate up until a few months ago, but after they moved out, now I've got to, clean up my space, fix some things around the house, and then I can rent it back out.
I say, sounds like I'm coming to Virginia, and we're gonna make you successful. Say I'm gonna make this happen. That's my.
I mean, she's doing pretty well without you, honestly.
I'm saying for rentals. No, she's gonna go make her money in her way. I'm talking about the rental space. She got to fix things up. I say, I'm gonna make this an Airbnb. I'm gonna stay in the Airbnb. All right. So now, are you in car debt? Are you in? So you're in house debt. Are you in car debt?
No, the car is paid off.
Okay. And then just the other personal debts. Now, college. I know that you're not going to go into debt for your doctor. Are you in college debt for masters and before?
I thankfully came out pretty good. I only went into debt for my master's degree. The last couple of semesters, I took on some debt.
It's amazing.
So,
Good for you.
if I had to do it all over again, I would have made different decisions. I did, what they tell you to do. I stayed at home with my parents during my undergrad. I did the 2 years at a community college, and then did a 4-year university to get the rest of my degree. And there was at one point I was on the payroll at 3 different jobs. There was, one point where I was getting 45 minutes of sleep. And my undergraduate, those 4 years of my life were a nightmare. And there's so much of it I honestly don't even remember. So if I had to do it all over again, I would have definitely made some different decisions. Would I have necessarily taken on a bunch of debt? Probably not, actually. Like probably not. But I definitely would have made some different decisions, including going to the college that I actually wanted to go. I mean, a degree is a degree, arguably, in a lot of spaces. Some people will argue that it does matter, but I would have definitely taken on a little bit of debt to move out of my hometown and go see more of the world and experience a few things. Like, that would have been worth it to me.
Yeah. And I trust me, like, I have those regrets because, like, to tell people how poor I was, I just didn't understand how poor we were, right? Like, I couldn't afford to go away to college because I couldn't afford to even drive to get there, if that made any sense. Full disclosure, like, I'm stupid. Everybody knows this, but I actually had a scholarship opportunity to Cornell University for a bowling scholarship, right? Like, and but I, like, looking at it, I'm sitting here going, okay, like, I can't afford to live because my mom was great at one thing, teaching me that debt was not a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. It was funny because the bank's closed on Sundays. So, like, if she didn't take money out of the bank on Saturday or whatever, we couldn't do anything on Sunday. So, like, we stayed home and that's what we did, like, because we just had no money to do it. She didn't have debit cards. My mom got a debit card. It's probably been a couple of years now, but, like, she finally has a debit card, right? Like, and so, I was looking at it going, I can't even drive to get myself to this college to even get myself in a dorm. How am I expecting to go do this? Which saved me a bunch of college debt, right? I did kind of the same thing you did. I went to half a year of, a community college and then a year of 4-year degree college. One on a bowling scholarship, one on just because, and I worked, you 45 minutes, like, that's really low. I remember I had an hour and 45 of if I could sleep, and then I would school all day, and then 2 hours of sleep, and then work my 10-hour shift, and then 4 hours of sleep, and then school, and then work, and then it would rotate. So I'd have like 2 hours every other day, and then a 4-hour block of sleep. And I remember being exhausted and just, because I also didn't want to go to school for like 50 years, right? I told myself, I'm going to get this done. So I took, 28 credit hours or whatever it was. I did take some college debt on for a couple of minutes. It wasn't much, right? It was enough to where, like, I stayed at home, worked for a couple of weeks, and paid off my debts. Like, it was just like, all right, cool. And I didn't even know. It's funny because we did a college debt episode, and I didn't even know what I was signing. That's how stupid I was. They're like, hey, no, in order for you to go here, you got to sign this. And
that's how all of them are.
We'll just take care of it. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, and like, because it wasn't presented. If it was presented to me as credit or a credit card, I would have never gone to college, right? They're just like, nope. Like, this is how you do it. This is how you pay for your class or whatever. And then it's just this. And I was like, well, I can pay for my class as I go. And they're like, no, and it was, I don't remember exactly how it was worded. All of a sudden, I just know that I had debt, right? And that's stupid me. Like
again, they kept giving my daughter loans.
Right. Exactly.
And I kept calling the loan office and saying, fuck you and your loans.
Yeah. I remember, okay, here's how it worked for me. I've always been a cheap person, so I'd hop online and get like the foreign edition of my school book because it was cheaper. And then my friends were bragging because, and this is, I remember this because my buddy's like, yeah, I just got a king size Reese's to trade in my $150 science book. And I'm like, I paid $7.50 off of online for the same book. And, back then printing paper was 5 cents a page. So I was like, dude, let me get your book. I can just go make the next 2 chapters of copies. And he's like, that's $3. And I was like, okay. So if I make a copy of the whole entire book, it's $12. Like, I don't really care. Like, yeah, we get to stand there and flip the pages. And I was like, again, didn't spend $150. Yeah, but they'll buy it back. The one they bought back for
$20.
No, it was like 5 usually. It was a king size Reese's for one of them. They're like, oh, we can't buy it back. You can give it to us, and here you can pick any king size candy bar you want. I was like, gotta be fucking shitting me. Like, at that moment I knew I was in the wrong industry, and like I almost opened. We have a Brian's Books. I don't know if that's like a national thing.
I don't think we do anymore.
CC used to have it.
They did. I think they closed.
But like, that's what I want to open, right? Like, I want to open a bookstore for college kids that are dumb enough that their parents are, but it's only going to say your parents have to be dumb enough to fucking buy this. It can't be your debt.
At least half of my textbooks, I never opened.
Of course not.
Never had to.
When I was in college, I intentionally, the professor would yell at me, oh, you guys have to have your textbooks. You have to have your textbooks. And like 3 weeks would go in and I'm like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it until we actually use it. And they'd be like, hey, where's your textbook? Were you looking at this? And be like, oh man, I don't know. My dog ate it, right? Like,
my dog ate the entire textbook.
Well, it's funny. Actually, the dog actually did eat one time. And I came in with like a bunch of ripped pages and he like looked at it and he's like, I'm going to fucking believe you. Like, I've never had anybody bring that in. And I was like, yeah. Also, the cord to plug my laptop in is chewed. So if I can get $12 to get a new cord, that'd be great, right? Like, I was so broke. I remember being so cheap. Like, my brother had a motorcycle. I borrowed it because it was cheaper gas. And I drove in the snow with a motorcycle to get to college. And I'd bundle up like crazy and then drive back with all my stuff in the saddlebag because it'd be nice during. But yeah, I had no business going to college because I was so broken. I was going for bowling. I wasn't going for anything else.
Yeah, you weren't worried about learning.
I know. All right. So sorry, Rachel. We tangent like crazy. What's the best decision you've made for your debt journey?
Definitely calling the companies and renegotiating my interest rates.
Yeah.
Because there have absolutely been times where I've been late on my payments. I've never been 30 days late. In 17 years of history, I've never been 30 days late. Sometimes I slide in there at like day 28, but I've never got a ding on my credit score for that. But after most of them, after like day 10, day 15, they start calling you 3 times a day.
Really?
a lot of them. Like that day 10 mark, they might call you once. That day 15 mark, they start blowing your phone up.
I had no idea.
Yeah, but most of them, if you call it, just pick up the phone and call them. It's better if you can call them before you miss a payment. A lot of them, I know, I don't remember which company it was, but there was one company that wouldn't talk to me until I missed a payment. Like I tried calling them before and being like, hey, I need to renegotiate things. And they're like, we can't do anything for you until you actually miss the payment date. Yeah. But a lot of them were willing. They're like, hey, if you're in, if something has happened, if your financial situation has changed, and a lot of them, when it's your credit card debt, they do it annually. They're like, update your income so we can, reevaluate your credit or whatever. That you get the little pop-up online sometimes. But yeah, just give them. I wish that I had just thought of that sooner and been willing to face it instead of just being like, I'm just gonna, set the piles of statements in the corner, the ones that still came paper. Most of them are e-statement. It's just like, oh, I'm just gonna delete this email. I know when the payment is due.
Right?
But yeah, if I had just called them sooner, I could have saved myself so much in interest if I had just started this, faced up to it sooner.
Sure.
I think with debt, it's one of those things that people are just embarrassed by. They don't like that it's out there and they feel ashamed. So instead of dealing with it like you did, they just kind of ignore the whole thing. Because I remember when, I had massive amounts of debts. I just stopped answering the phone. And that's a thing, unfortunately. It didn't make anything go away, trust me, which is why I filed bankruptcy. But again, you have to, at some point, engage in those conversations, and hopefully your creditors will work with you. Obviously you had really good luck with that, and even though you don't like talking on the phone, you got to win there by doing it.
Mm-hmm. And total, I probably spent 45 minutes on the phone, like between everybody that I called. If I totaled all of the phone calls up, and some cases I did call multiple times for this, that, and the other, but it wasn't long phone calls. And ultimately, the other person, I've worked in customer service long enough, the person on the other end of the phone is just somebody who's probably making a few dollars above minimum wage, and it's not personal. They don't know who you are. You're caller number 182735. They're not judging you, at least not on a personal level like that, because they don't know you. They're just out there doing their job. They're listening to your answers. They're clicking the buttons on the computer screen, and they're doing what the corporate overlords tell them to do.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like, don't be afraid to just call and talk to somebody.
So I want to make sure we hit on this. So you started your business. Talk about it.
Yeah, Triforce Life Designs. Ultimately, I just want to help people. My main focus is just millennial women. That's, my perspective on life. That's where I come from. That's, kind of my wheelhouse, and help people better their lives to get out of some of the same situations that I've been in and get control of their finances. Like, taking control of your finances can help you get out of situations that are bad or stressful or toxic, can get you out of those, less than stellar relationships. If you aren't dependent on somebody for, like, I got to split the rent with this person, I can't afford my own house, or I got to stay at this job even though my boss is toxic, because, I got bills to pay. It's like, okay, well, let's reevaluate your life so that we can get you into the life that you actually desire and deserve to be in. So yeah, you can check out my website. It's moneydifferently.net. And I do a free 30-minute consult. We could just talk about your life and your goals and see if there's a plan for you. You can check out my stand store that's got some really cute resources. It's got the aspirational budget template so that you can design your dream life. It's on sale right now. You can check out my stand store. You can find me on social media, Black Millennial Women. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. And there's some interesting videos, and it's just about the life and times and trying to make it in this world.
Sorry, call me old as shit. Stan store, STAN.
Yes, STAN.store/Black Millennial Woman, and it's just one of those like link in bio type thing, link trees type thing. It's got a couple downloadables that are on sale right now.
I guess, what is Stan store?
It's just a digital storefront where you can sell digital products largely. A lot of creators are starting to use that now, similar to a link tree. You can link your website. You can sell products directly from the store, and doing a lot of other. It has a lot of other creator tools.
So it's like a digital version of Etsy.
Yes.
Okay.
And
that's pretty cool. Sorry, I've never heard this website before in my life. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, if you check out mine, there's also an affiliate link, if you want to sign up.
No, like I literally, like when I tell people, like I do have a Facebook. I do. So I'm not 90. My grandpa doesn't have a Facebook.
You're still like a 90-year-old millennial.
Like, oh, I am. Because like my wife's grandma had it. And
right.
So like, and her Oma has one. But yeah, I really like, I am so, I mean, if
for a young man, you're an old man.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I do use Facebook for that. But like I would still be completely fine with a flip phone. Okay. Like people have no idea how much I would still be okay with this. The hardest part would be Google for me. Because like I just pop a random idea in my head and I'm like, ooh, what is it? My kid, I have a 7-year-old. Dad, how much does an average bouncy ball weigh? Fuck, I don't know, but you know who does? Google. Holy shit, it's like 4 ounces. Oh, so we Google the greatest things because I want her to have all this knowledge.
Well, even like the TikTok people we find.
Yeah.
The only one that you've ever personally reached out to was Drew from last week.
Didn't I reach out to Adam?
I think I reached out to Adam.
Okay.
I think you tagged me, and then I reached out to Adam because that's what you do. You tag me.
Yeah, David does the work.
I found Rachel. I found Jesse, the Millennial Money Witch.
Yeah, which you should.
Do you know Jesse, the Millennial Money Witch?
No, but that sounds so cool. I need to go follow her.
She is fantastic. We've had her on a couple times. She went viral because of a BuzzFeed article because it was one of those stupid things of, well, millennials, they just won't give up their avocado toast or their, $8 coffee or whatever that shit is. And she literally went on a tirade about what millennials really want in the workplace, and it's not a fucking pizza party.
Yes. Oh gosh, yes.
I mean, I'm all about a pizza party, but it better come with like a $500 bonus with it.
Yeah.
But so Millennial Money Witch, and you honestly might find her very useful, especially in growing your business, because she's very much about and getting your doctorate. She's about, hey, how to network and then how to put this all out there to find your dream job and and we don't know all of it. Well,
she's a lawyer by trade.
Yeah.
Very much an introvert, but has had to become extroverted because, everything she's done is through networking. And she's phenomenal. Yeah. We're going to have her on in another month or so.
Business coaching she talks about and things like that. So it might be something that you two could collab on, do something awesome. I think and TikTok is really fun for us.
Yeah.
I'm finding that I want to sound pompous. I'm better off than most people my age financially.
You are.
And so like looking at it, just going, oh my God, like to me, this is just normal. It is a normal fucking thing. Like I hear about these debts and like, quote me or, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 7 or 8 credit cards per person is what a normal person
probably
has, right? Like, and so like when I say 4 and you're like, oh, it's more than that. I'm like, all right, is it more than 8? Because like, are you above the average or are you the average line? Because I didn't realize
I have 8 in my wallet right now,
which is okay.
Ask me how much I carry a balance on.
How much do you carry a balance? None. Right, but like, looking at my wallet, I have my business card, which isn't a credit card. It's just a checking account with my business.
Yep.
It is my personal debit card.
You have to look.
I do. I want to show. Oh, actually, I think I can get rid of this one because it used to be a HELOC card. Sure can. So that one's gone. I no longer have that HELOC. That HELOC's closed. And what's this one? Oh, my vacation card.
Your vacation card.
I do have a vacation account. I had to think about that. Sorry. So, right, like I have 2 cards that I use on a daily basis.
But are they credit cards?
Not credit cards at all. Not anything. Like if I swipe the card, I have the money. Okay, that's the hardest thing is being in my position. You're talking about renovating your house. If I try to do a $10,000 renovation or more, I have to call my bank and get approval to get all of my materials paid for. They just have to open my line because I'm only allowed to spend $10,000 on my personal debit card a day. And I can take $1,000 out of a bank or something like that. So when I go buy a car or something like that, and I'm gonna pay, like I just have to call and go, hey, this is what it is. I need you to open my line so that way I can just swipe this. It takes time, but it's fine. If I go to anywhere, I'm just like, hey, I'm leaving. Please make my credit line, higher for 3 days. I'm going here. Please do that. And so to me, it doesn't. I'm just so used to having to call and do this, where I didn't realize people had that whole life of. All right, this isn't horrible. This card expired 3 of 22. Okay, like just
not too bad.
We talked about it on one episode. I had a card that was 5 years expired. I just never used it. But right, and so like I love doing interviews with people like you because it's just, hey, you have a different life that you've lived than what I have. I'm just very hyper focused and call it self-centered, whatever. Like I'm just very focused on me. Like what you do in your life never affects me until I interview you or until I see you and you put it out there for me to see, right? If you put it out there, I will watch, I will go, hey man, this, and I will give so much. It's funny because I'm a giver and I give so much advice and people are like, no, you're dumb. And I was like, I don't care what you think. Like, bro, I'm doing this. Like I wake up in the morning and I eat whatever the heck I want. Not always good, but it's I can go drop my kid off and go back to bed and still be okay in life, right? And so I look at it and just say, hey, this is a fascinating thing. And we teach what you do, except for I love your pride. I do. And you can, again, as you said, you can call it what you want, but we definitely teach people
we're cheap.
Save your money and then just pay, like call an offer a payoff, because you think about it. If you did $2,000 worth of debt with a credit card, right? And you've paid $8,000. You've given them $6,000 worth of interest, and that's not money you agreed to it. But to me, these are billion-dollar companies. I don't give a fuck about you or anything that you do. Take my money and leave.
So story time.
Let's say.
To tell you how cheap both of us are. I get interest on my bank accounts. One of them, you have to make 10 purchases a month to get your interest on. I make 10 purchases a month. I go and I pay on a medical debt 1 cent 10 times. And that gets me my 10 transactions. Yep. And I don't use that card again the rest of the month. And I get my interest. Somebody else here had a dental bill. It was like $85. And he called and he goes, what do you do if I pay it off all right now? And they go, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, I want a discount. And they go, it's $85. We're not giving you a discount. And he goes, all right, well, just so you know, I'm going to pay $1 a month until it's paid. And they went, excuse me? And he goes, I'm going to pay you $1 a month till it's paid, unless I get a discount. And they went, can you hold, please? And they put him on hold, and they come back and they go, what are you looking for? He goes, I don't give a shit. Give me $5. You give me $5 off, I'll pay it all right now. He paid $80 for his dental bill.
Yeah. And that's because we love to practice what we preach, for the most part, right? And that's the big key to us. Like, if I'm going to tell you to call and I will call every day. The only debt I have not been good at actually getting them to cut down on is real estate.
Yeah.
I cannot get any, and I love to screw with them so much. But, and the other thing is some of them now, they're assholes. If you call to get a payoff, it costs you $50 to get a payoff because they have to do their paperwork and all that. So you have to know how much it is. But like, I'll call and be like, hey, can I cut down my debt? Hey, if I pay you a lump sum, will you take less? Nope. I'm like, man. So if you ever figure out a hack of how to call a mortgage company and get to be able to pay it off, I'll be the happiest person you know. I'm thinking about paying one off right now because I just switched companies again. Just got used to their stupid app. It was great. I just log in, done. And then now I'm log into their website and remember my new password, and they made me use emojis and shit. I'm just like, I don't have time for this. It takes me like 5 hours to pay one bill. It annoys me. So I'm thinking about paying it off just because I'm annoyed by it.
Just so you know, Rachel, this is a guy that goes to the bank to pay his mortgages every month with cash.
Yep.
Do what works for you.
Yep, that's exactly it, right? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the worst part is I'm glad I do it. Granted, it probably wouldn't get screwed up if it was done the other way, but you talked about Chase. I went into Chase and I paid 5 mortgages, let's just say. And all of a sudden I got a email. My stuff's due on the 15th. I mean, I pay everything on the 1st, maybe the 2nd, depending on what day it lands on. I get an email on like the 17th or something. Hey, we see you haven't paid this debt, or haven't made a payment. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like I paid all this. And then I call up, it's like 11 o'clock at night. No, it shows you paid $1,400 over here, but this one's empty. And I was like, the payment over here is 700 and 700. Do you really think I just said, I hate this property now, I'm not paying on it, but I'm going to double pay on this one? Like, we can see that that's our fix. We're going to take care of it. It won't hurt your credit. It won't do anything. I was like, of course it won't hurt my credit. I literally, I can sue you for this. Like, plain and simple, you screwed it up, not me. But that's why I go in and pay, so I can hold somebody accountable. And I walk straight into the bank the next day and I go, look, this is what you did. You've now wasted 7 minutes of my life. I have more anxiety and stress. Don't let it happen twice. And the teller's like, oh, you're really on this stuff. Yes, this is my life you're talking about. Like, so Rachel, I want to figure out, okay, so you specialize in millennial women for your business. Mm-hmm. But you're open to anybody. Mm-hmm. Okay. And is it strictly credit card debt, or is it all debts of all sorts?
It is any personal finance.
Any personal financial debt. Okay.
So, and not just debt, it's your whole financial lens. Like, what do you want to do with your life as a whole? Because money affects every aspect of your life, whether we like it or not.
Cash rule everything around me. That's what's up. Let's say.
Well, I know for us, like, you're the real estate guy. I'm the investment guy.
Very much.
So let's say I come to you and I'm like, hey, I got an extra $5,000. What do I do with that? You have stuff for me?
Do I have stuff for you? I have a referral for you. If you want specific investment advice, that is not my wheelhouse, and I'm happy to refer you to somebody who is licensed in your state to do that. I will focus more on your mindset, helping you to believe that you can get out of the situation that you were in, building a plan to get you out of that situation, and helping you execute that plan. So if you're looking for me to niche down a little bit.
No, that's great. Like, I love that you know where your business is and where you want to be. So you say you want to be a millionaire, or not you want to be, you're going to be, excuse me. I don't want to say it in the negative term. You're going to be. What steps are you taking besides opening a business to get there?
Again, paying down my debts helps, because now I can then the money that was throwing at debts, I can then invest. Because there's not a whole lot of investments that are going to net you like 20% plus interest, and that money is being eaten up by those debts. So it's investment accounts, looking at real estate, working with other businesses, doing partnerships, and just expanding my own brands and companies.
Sure. No, don't do real estate. It's for suckers.
Again, one of our favorite guests, Steve,
yeah,
says the best investment he ever made was real estate.
Yep. And I think that for Steve's time, it's true.
You don't think it's true now?
I think the way that is being educated and the way that it's being talked about, the normal person that buys real estate will fail. And I mean that in the most respectful way, right? They're just saying, hey, go buy real estate.
So you're abnormal.
You have to just understand so much of the numbers. You have to understand where this stuff is. Like, success isn't just, I own this and somebody pays me rent and great, they're covering the bill. Like, I earned that little bit. Like, there's so much more to it, right? Like, and again, I don't own 1 million properties because the things I own are needles in a haystack. Like, I see people just, oh, hey, I bought a $300,000 place and it brings in $3,000. That's great. But like, what are your taxes? What is this? Well, we make $23 a month. Like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, that's not, no,
That's not worth your time
at all. Like, yeah, but it's building me equity, dude. Your equity, like, are you gonna pay $3,700? Or I just got quoted $7,500 for a refi. I think 77.5, to be honest with you. You're gonna pay 77.5 to go get a furnace? Well, no, I have a job right now. I could pay for the furnace if I absolutely need to. That's not a business running itself. That's just you fucking hoping and dreaming. Like, stop doing that.
right.
Like, yes, you can out earn things. And for the longest time, I built my business like, hey, I'm earning this extra money. It can pay for itself. But like, that's not how you get long-term wealth. That's not how you build this business. That's not how you do it. And so I tell people all the time, like, real estate's just this new trend right now, and everybody thinks that everybody can do it and everybody should be in it. But the fact is people should not be in it. They shouldn't be doing it. You need to educate yourself so much.
Those are the people looking for, some quick money. And it's not quick money. It's work.
Right. And if you ask me for the normal person that wants to get into real estate, what should you do? Lend your fucking money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why would I lend it if I can go do it? Dude, you're going to get 11%. I'm paying 11% right now to people to borrow your money. Right. So, and you have an asset you've now figured out, hey, is it good? Right. Like, acquisitions is where you need to be, or lending is where you need to be. It's one of the two. Like, but really in the real estate field, being a landlord, unless you own your house and you're house hacking and people are just and you can pay it yourself, but you happen to have renters in your rooms, I'm fine with that. But really, at the end of the day, there's a huge percentage that should not be investors.
Well, again, me, I'm the type of guy that I'm willing to give you money.
Yeah.
I will give you money for a certain percentage of more money.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And that's how it should be. No, and I don't want to talk you out of it if that's what you want to do, but just and my favorite is there's always these business people that want to get into, oh, well, real estate's where it's at. No, your business is the one that made you money. Real estate's your passive you'll get it eventually down the road, and you hope it appreciates. If not, you hope it stays the same and you just had somebody else pay that $200,000 or whatever the price is. Like, then you go cash out 5 houses at $1 million. You put low into it to get it. But really, it's just, I think I'm just irritated with the amount of things that I'm seeing for people that are like, oh, I bought a buddy of mine who owns 100 fucking units. I love the kid to pieces. He's doing very, very well. Just texted me. This thing has a net operating income of $140,000 a year. They want $3.2 million to purchase. And I said, what are you talking about, dude? Like, yeah, but it doesn't have taxes and you can raise rent. And I was like, you've been in this business way longer than me. Like, your family has history in this, and you think this is an okay property? Yeah, but the potential, Jesus criminy, like, we don't buy on potential. Like, we buy on facts and statistics and what is and what, like, I get if it's 300,000 and it's 3 million, and then you're got a potential of more, take that risk. But no, you're doing,
but for half of that.
Yeah, you're doing 0.5%. No. So sorry, another million Nick tangent. So
no worries. Let me I guess I should have clarified what I said by real estate. Because I know my money goes towards food largely. Like my when we're talking about expenditures, like where my money goes, I don't look like it, but I love food. So a lot of, and I also love traveling, and I love traveling to go eat food.
Sure. All right, I know I'm gonna let you finish on the last question.
So like when I say real estate, I think you touched on house hacking. Like, I don't need a whole lot of space in my house, and if I'm gone, why can't I rent out my house? Especially like because a few nights, or a part-time renter, I could rent out part of my space for like 2/3 of my rent, or 2/3 of my mortgage while I'm gone to Mexico having margaritas on the beach or whatever I'm doing. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, and eventually I will buy a different house that meets different needs that I want that I didn't, address when I bought this house a few years ago. And I will probably keep this property and then, rent this property out. And have my other house. But like as far as like some of the big huge other deals, no, I'm just like I'll have this house and like use some of the extra space because like I don't need all the space in this house.
Sure.
And I bought it with that in mind because it's a split level house and I could absolutely rent out the top or bottom as completely separate units to help go towards the mortgage.
Sure.
So like that's what I'm talking about.
No, and that's that's a great way to do it. It's a great way to, I mean, get the understanding of how to deal with people. Because I tell people, if you can live with somebody as a landlord versus renting to them, I mean, you have to look at them on Fridays or however often they pay you and go, all right, money. Say, I think. Also, my question was before we wrap this up, best place you've traveled to for what food?
Oh, the best place I have traveled to for what food? Um, mm, mm, that is difficult. I have had an excellent Philly cheesesteak. I believe the place was called South Philly Cheesesteaks. It's actually outside of Philadelphia. It's
Sure is.
in this little it's a house turned restaurant. It's super easy to miss, like coming off the highway. Excellent,
Yep.
excellent Philly cheesesteaks in Philadelphia. And then, of course, going to New Orleans, you got to get some beignets.
Yeah.
Um, outside, like away from, like, no shade to Cafe Du Monde, but there are other places. There are better
Yep.
places to get beignets.
Oh, I say, I 2 years from now, I'm going to be in New Orleans. Where am I headed? I don't know. Anyway, down that way. So, and so we'll definitely have to check that out. But
There's an Irish pub down there.
That's what's up.
We spent so much time in that. It was a good time.
There's an Irish pub here. Actually, my wife and I forget where it is, but they have a smoked Reuben. So smoked corned beef with Reuben, and it's just amazing. But we haven't found it again because we forgot where the hell we went. But it was just so good. I love Irish pubs. I love Irish food. I love Irish beer, Irish whiskey. Irish guy.
Because we're talking about food.
Yeah.
I talked to the eye candy earlier.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, Mikey's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And literally we have formed this bachelor party around baseball
and
food and beer.
Nice. You got to go to that place that we went. I forget the name of it. I'll send it to you. The steak place or whatever. The sandwich shop. My brother and I went to.
I don't remember what that was. I know we're going to Harry Carey's and we're going to get a huge steak.
Yeah.
Spend way too much on it. That's going to be a good time.
So I tell you what, no matter what people say, so we have a decent Hispanic community here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But no matter what happens, the tacos don't taste the same unless you're in Mexico. The tacos down in Mexico. I want to retire there. I want to live there. I want to be there. My wife has no want at this moment. I think it's probably just because I would make her eat tortillas 3 meals a day. And she sometimes needs, like, we were there for only 7 days and she's like, I kind of want Italian food. And I was like, we're not in Italy. But after 7 days of tortillas, I could see where she would get done. But me, I was like, nah, this is heaven. I wake up every day. I'm like, let me get 3 eggs and some tortillas. So anything else that you want to tell us, Rachel, before we sign off here?
I don't know. This was a fun time. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. We really enjoyed having you. Thank you for being very open with, your debts and your life. And because there's people like you, right? There's people listening to 2 guys talk. We love to have people that are literally doing it, living it, and are calling companies. And I mean, I'm very proud of you for getting from 26 to 9.9, like, or getting from, I forget what the other one was, down to 0% interest, right? Like, you're doing the right steps. You're doing amazing. Like, Keep up the good work. The question we always ask is, you have a goal of 1 year to 3 years. I'm hoping for sooner than that. Would you love to come back on and have a chat with us and figure out an update of where you are?
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be great. Because I hope that 1 year from now, we literally have you on and you're like, I'm debt free. I'm flying. It's been amazing.
We do always love to have our guests back.
We do.
I did share Millennial Money, which is TikTok with you.
Oh,
So
okay, awesome.
You'll be able to check her out. She's great. You've been great. Absolutely love this conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, we love talking about getting out of debt.
Yeah.
That's one of our favorite things.
So, and you know, the way we started, the way we finish it, baby. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. We really appreciate you guys staying with us this whole time. Love to give a shout out to Apoptosis.
Raspberry wheat.
It was great. I really enjoyed myself. David, thank you for the growler.
Very welcome, my friend. Rachel, give one more plug to your business so people can find you, whatever you want to plug.
Yes. So my beer of choice, if you're ever in the Roanoke area, check out Old Salem Brewing. I'm not affiliated with them. I just like their beer.
Not yet.
But shameless plug there. And for me personally, you can check me out, Black Millennial Woman, on TikTok and Instagram. You can go directly to my website, moneydifferently.net, and book a free session with me. Let's talk about your future and redesign your money and redesign your life.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back next week with something. I don't know if we have anything specifically planned, but we will.
We do officially have something planned.
Do we have something?
No, but we'll talk about it off air.
Well, yeah, we have a few things that we need to discuss. So thanks for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
You've dialed in
to Bucks and Brews. You might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these stuff.
because they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks. And they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money, bucks,
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.